Hi, welcome to In 5 Minutes. We have done with the topic BJT, JFET, diodes. In that you have clippers, clampers. Now coming to the last topic, we are dealing with oscillators. But in order to know the oscillators, first we need to know the types of feedbacks. Now what is a feedback? You can say a feedback is a network which takes sample or part of the output signal, which may be a voltage or can say current, and it is fed back to the input side. We can say this is your input Vs, where we are feeding back the part of the output which may be in phase or it may not be in phase. If the output is in phase with the input, then such type of feedback is called as positive feedback. So what you can say, in feedback you have two types, positive feedback and negative feedback. In the given diagram, you can say Vs is your input voltage and Vo is the output voltage. You can say a part of the output voltage is taken back from this point and it is given back to the summing amplifier. This is called as summing amplifier, where we are adding both the signals. Suppose say the phase of the input signal is like this. Amplifier, if it is adding 180-degree phase shift, there will be a phase shift. We are assuming that there is no phase shift from the amplifier, so the phase for input and output will be the same. Similarly, feedback is again not adding any phase shift, so whatever is the phase for the output is the same for the feedback. So you can say this is the feedback voltage output, and when we are combining this, the output what we will get will be Vs plus Vf. Why we are adding? Because in the summer you have Vs and Vf both are having positive signs, so output of this will be Vin, which is input to the amplifier, which is Vs plus Vf. That is the feedback network. So what you can say, whenever you have a feedback network having same phase as the input, can call it as positive feedback. Now what will be the negative feedback? Suppose in this case I am adding part of the output to the negative terminal, or you can say input and output are out of phase. That means if the waveform for the input is say in this format, then your amplifier, for example, say it is applying 180-degree phase shift, so input and output will be out of phase. And the same input if you are applying over here, or in other words, say if this is positive, so what you can say, after adding your amplitude will decrease. Now if I am considering the phase of this and this to be the same, right? What does I mean is, suppose for example, say this is the phase, that is this amplifier is not adding anything to the input, that means the phase shift by the amplifier is 0. But if I am adding the same output at the negative terminal, then again my input at this point will decrease, because I am subtracting Vf from the source. So what my Vin will decrease in this case, right? So this type of feedback is called as negative feedback, wherein the same phase you can use with a negative sign or 180-degree with the same sign. Both are one and the same. And again, how we are writing gain? For gain, we write it as output voltage upon input voltage. Always we write gain as Vo upon Vin. Now negative feedback is used in voltage amplifiers, right? Now beta network. What is this feedback network? Now beta network can have active devices or it can have passive elements. What are active devices? We have already studied. Diode, transistor, MOSFET can be a part of active device. And what are passive elements? Example, say capacitors, inductors, resistors. So these are the part of beta what you can have in the feedback network. Amplifier can again be an op-amp, a transistor. So anything what is amplifying the input can be a part of the amplifier having gain Vo by Vin. Now generally what we can say, feedback network consists of passive elements. For example, voltage amplifiers, if you are considering BJT, the feedback consists of resistors, right? So this is the type of negative feedback. You can say positive feedback we have explained in the previous slide.